Ladies and gentlemen, I have someone very special here in the studio with me today. He truly is an icon in the business. He's won over 30 titles in WWE. And now, future WWE Hall of Famer, Edge. And movie star, I might add. So where do you see your career going from here? I mean...
I don't know. I honestly don't know, and I kind of like that aspect of it. You know, I don't have, you know, anything mapped out or a set plan or a team strategizing to, you know, I still don't have an agent. I've done everything that I've done on my own.
Wow.
So, you know, going forward, maybe I'll finally have to bite the bullet and get an agent. I don't know. But, you know, I fly back out to Nova Scotia to shoot season 3 of Haven, April 18th. We start shooting that. So, you know, I kind of play it by ear from there. You know, I'll get this season done and then see wherever it takes me. You know, it's been really relaxed and nice and laid back, and I've really felt retired this last, you know, 4 or 5 months. It's about to start getting busy with you know, promoting the movie, with Hall of Fame. Then they have a DVD coming out, you know, on my career. And then straight to Haven. So it's about to get hectic again. So I'm just trying to enjoy the moment of serenity while I have it.
Gotcha. All right. Well, actually, I have a couple of fans and stuff have got together. They've wanted to ask you questions, you know, and I chose some. So who did you idolize and why?
Okay. Well, initially it was Hogan. And I don't know. I guess for me, being a kid who loved comic books and Kiss and these kind of larger than life, you know, characters, when I saw him, it was just like, he was this real life superhero. And then as I got to know more about the business and whose matches I was gravitating to, you know, it was guys like Mr. Perfect, and it was guys like Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat, and then, you know, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. So that was kind of the gradual evolution of how I, you know, grew into the business.
So if you could wrestle anyone at any time, who would it be?
I got lucky in the respect that I got to work with so many of the people that I would have dreamed of wrestling. You know, I got to team with Hogan. I got to wrestle Ric Flair in his first ladder match, you know, in North Carolina, you know, for the WWE title. It's like, that would have been on a wish list. I got to wrestle Shawn Michaels. Bret Hart would have been the only guy that I didn't get to wrestle that would have been on that list of guys that I wanted. But generally, if you look at the last 20 years of the industry, I wrestled every major star. So I got really lucky in that respect.
Edge, you've won so many titles in WWE. Which one means the most?
Ooh, man. Tough. It's a tough call, you know. I guess, you know, the first world championship, the first one of all of them, you know, the first tag team championships with Christian at WrestleMania, because we grew up wanting to do that. You know, the first Intercontinental Championship because it was in Toronto, it was in my hometown, and then, you know, the first world championship against Cena, you know, cashing in the Money in the Bank. That was a big one. But then there's been stuff that's been just as big that didn't involve titles, whether it was the match with Mick Foley and or some of the TLC matches. You know, those were all pretty big and stick out in my head too.
That is so awesome. I really didn't want to bring this up, but it's one of the fan questions, and I guess I have to ask this, but I know you had a little feud with Matt Hardy, and one of my boys in the wrestling business, Paul London, he also had a feud with Matt Hardy. So currently, what's your take on Matt these days and Paul London?
I don't know. I think, you know, Matt and I just went through a thing that a lot of people end up going through, just not in the public eye, you know. Gotcha. So it, you know, as much as you don't want to go through that stuff, I think at some point a lot of people have.
Yeah.
Whether they're willing to admit it or not is another thing, but we had no choice but to admit it.
Yeah.
I don't know Paul that well. He always seemed like a cool guy, you know. But I don't sweat anybody for anything. It's like what's done is done, and you move on. And
is Matt really a tattletale from what I hear in the locker room? I don't know. That's
beats me, man.
Perception.
And more importantly, don't care.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. So currently we have a new generation of superstars in the WWE. What do you think about my classmate from the Shawn Michaels Wrestling Academy, Daniel Bryan? He is the heavyweight champ right now.
Okay, yeah. I like him. Always have. Nice guy. A lot of similar mentalities when it comes to, you know, just life outside of the business. So I've always gotten along with him in that respect. you know, when I was with WWE, didn't get to follow a lot of his career, you know, just because it's so kind of wrestling all the time that the last thing I wanted to do was go and devour tapes of, you know, indie promotions when I was home. I just really wanted to turn wrestling off. So didn't really get to follow a lot of his stuff until he got up with us.
Okay.
But are you going to name names of guys, or do you want me to mention guys that I just think are going to be
just mention
doing
him,
good?
you know, definitely.
I think Sheamus is doing a great job. I think he's finding his niche as a good, you know, baby face, like you know, take no prisoners kind of feel to him. To me right now, the best guy in the business is Dolph Ziggler. Very entertained watching him. You know, and I've been touting his praises for a while, and actually requested to work him because they had said, "Who do you want to work?" And I was like, "Give me Ziggler. I want to show you what he can do because I know he can do it." So we got to have a match at the Royal Rumble that I think, you know, everybody kind of went, "Oh, maybe this kid can do it," kind of thing, you know, and because sometimes it's just somebody's got to crack the door open for you a little bit, and then you can kick it in yourself. And I think he continues, no matter where he's at on the show, to kick it in. Randy's not a young guy, but I still enjoy watching Randy do what he does. It's just so natural to him. Gosh, I know there's other young guys that I like, and I'm forgetting them right now. Start naming some names. Help me out.
Oh, let's see. Jack Swagger. Where's he?
Swagger, yeah, interesting. Had to wrestle him, you know, and enjoyed wrestling him. He's got some big, clumsy feet sometimes, though, man. he would kick you and hit you from your kneecap to your chin with those feet. But I like Jack. Really strong kid. So much of it is so many things that have to come together at the same time, you know, mental, physical, you know, and just being commitment, you know, to what you're doing, no matter what it is. It's like, okay, you want me to be in a couple with Vicky Guerrero? Vicky, what do you think? Ian, all right, here goes. Commit to it, you know, and to the point where people were coming up to me, "I can't believe you're married to Vicky." I was like, come on, man. Come on, folks. Seriously. It's just we're playing parts.
Well, I have to mention this movie that you're in called Bending the Rules. You play a character named Nick Blades. Where do you see this movie career of yours going? I mean, and also, if you could choose any actor or actress currently, who would you want to star in the next movie?
Well, my favorite actor is Johnny Depp. I really like his stuff. I really like Liam Neeson. You know, those are probably my two favorite actors. But never really thought in terms of sharing a movie with any. I just enjoy watching their movies. And for me, I don't know. I just like watching movies. I haven't really thought ahead as to, okay, I got to try and get a movie this year or this, that, or the other. Up until now, I've been lucky in the respect that stuff's fallen in my lap. And maybe at some point I'll start actually thinking about working about to getting some stuff. But right now it's just, you know, I want to be retired and do occasional stuff. So
would you ever consider being in a chick flick?
Why the hell not? Sure.
You could be the next Channing Tatum. Channing, you know, but you got to cut your hair.
I'd
I don't know about
go
that.
For the next Paul Rudd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, last but not least, who's going to win WrestleMania? The Rock or John Cena?
I honestly don't know, which is what's really cool about it. I have no idea. And I probably won't put too much thought into it, but I'm going to sit there and enjoy it with everybody else. You know, I've liked what I've seen of the build-up. You know, I thought
it's been a whole year.
It's been a whole year,
yeah.
And now that they're, you know, doing some promos back and forth, it's getting pretty awkward.
Yeah.
But that makes for good TV.
Definitely.
Like they don't like each other, and you can tell. So that makes for interesting TV.
Edge, I want to thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on being a WWE Hall of Famer, and good luck with your movie career.
Thanks.
So thank you.